Chapter 9. India in the 18th Century. The 18th century in India saw the emergence of many independent kingdoms. Since the Mughal Empire was no longer a strong political entity, ambitious governors carved out autonomous principalities. The Mughal dynasty continued to linger on, but the kings neighed for power for territory. Later Mughals, after the death of Aurangzeb, 1707 AD, the Mughal power declined and several independent states emerged in various parts of the country. In fact, the disintegration of the Mughal Empire had started during the last 25 years of Aurangzeb's reign. There were serious revolts of the Rajputs, the Jats, the Bundelas, the Satnamis and the Sikhs. The rise of Marathas in the Deccan too shook the foundations of the Mughal Empire. Aurangzeb's death in 1707 AD led to another war of succession, in which Muazzam, the eldest son, emerged victorious and ascended the throne under the title of Bahadur Shah I. At the time of his accession, he was more than 63, mild, tolerant, learned and generous. He was too weak to suppress revolts. He died in 1712 AD. After Bahadur Shah I, Jahandar Shah, 1712 to 1713, Farukh Siyar, 1713 to 1719, and Muhammad Shah, 1719 to 1748, became the emperors. All of them were indolent, incompetent and pleasure-seeking rulers. They took no interest in the affairs of the government. The nobles also shirked all military tasks. Under these circumstances, many provinces became independent. Murshid Quli Khan in Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa, Saadat Khan in Nawadh and the Nizam in Deccan set up their independent kingdom. In the Doab, the Rohilla set up autonomous chieftainship. The Marathas occupied Gujarat, Malwa and part of Bundelkhand. The Rajputs freed themselves from the central control. The invasion of Nadir Shah of Persia in 1739 AD was the greatest blow to the Mughal Empire. Nadir Shah massacred thousands of people in Delhi and plundered the city. His reign of terror continued for almost 2 months. On his return from Delhi, he took away the peacock throne and the famous Noor diamond with him. Independent kingdoms Punjab under the Sikhs emerged militant community under Guru Har Gobind, 1606 to 1645 AD. The first 4 gurus of the Sikhs were basically reformers. The 5th Guru Arjan Dev was assassinated by the order of Jahangir. Arjan Dev had given the Sikhs a permanent organization. The 9th Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur, was killed under the orders of Aurangzeb. The 10th and the last Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, 1664 to 1708 AD, organized the Sikhs into Khalsa in 1699 AD. He lost his 4 sons in the battles against Mughals. He was murdered by an Afghan in 1708 AD. After Guru Gobind Singh's death, Banda Bahadur, 1708 to 1716 AD, organized the Sikhs and captured the region between the Satluj and Yamuna rivers. They tried to establish an independent kingdom and issued coins in the name of Guru Nanak and Guru Gobind Singh. He was captured by the Mughals, imprisoned and tortured to death. His followers called him Sacha Padshah, the true emperor. The military power of the Sikhs, though weakened, could not be completely destroyed. The tenets of Guru Nanak and Guru Gobind Singh were deeply rooted in their hearts. They began to organize themselves into a Sikh state. The disorder and confusion in Punjab after the invasions of Nadir Shah and Ahmad Shah Abduli helped to rise of the Sikhs as a great power. In 1764 AD, the Sikhs proclaimed their sovereignty in Punjab. They organized themselves into 12 misls and established small principalities like Nabha, Kapurthala, Patiala, etc. Towards the end of the 18th century, the Sikhs were able to establish a strong sovereign state in Punjab under the leadership of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. The Rajputs, the anti-Hindu policies of Aurangzeb, alienated the 3 main Rajput states of Mewar, Marwar, and Amber. prominent Rajput rulers like Rana Amar Singh of Mewar, Ajit Singh of Marwar and Savai Raja Jai Singh of Amber, Jaipur, wanted to withdraw their allegiance to the Mughals and assert their independence. Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah I, also known as Shah Alam, 1707 to 1712 AD, tried to pacify the Rajputs. During the reign of Farukh Siyar, 1713 to 1719 AD, Ajit Singh was made the governor of Ajmer and Gujarat. Jai Singh II, 169 to 1732 AD, of Jaipur was appointed the governor of Surat and Agra. These Rajput rulers were able to make their kingdoms strong and prosperous. Jai Singh founded the city of Jaipur, the first ever planned city in India. He was deeply interested in mathematics and astronomy. He built observations in Jaipur, Delhi, Ujjain, Banaras, and Mathura. He got many works on mathematics translated into Sanskrit. Awadh became independent in 1722 AD under Saadat Khan, a Persian Shia. He was appointed governor of Awadh by the Mughal Emperor Muhammad Shah. Saadat Khan rapidly rose to power and fame. At the time of Nadir Shah's invasion, he was deputed by the emperor to negotiate with Nadir Shah to desist from destroying Delhi in return of a large amount of money. But Saadat Khan betrayed the emperor and the country. When Nadir Shah did not get the money promised to him, he ordered a general massacre in Delhi. Out of utter humiliation and shame, Saadat Khan died. Safdar-Jung succeeded Saadat Khan as the governor of Awadh. Shuja-ud-Daulah succeeded Safdar-Jung as Wazir. He indulged in pleasure and other wasteful exercises. He was treacherous. He played an important role in the history of North India. He was finally defeated in the Battle of Kara, Allahabad, and Awadh fell to the British. Bengal, the province of Bengal, was the first to become independent. Murshid Quli Khan was appointed as the Diwan of Bengal in 1700 AD. In 1717 AD, he was made the governor of Bengal. He was a strict and efficient administrator. He effectively reorganized the revenue system and introduced the Ijara system. Under this system, the collection of revenue was given to contractors, who later on became Zamindars, and many of them got the title of Rajas and Maharajas. This created a new landed aristocracy in Bengal. He also encouraged agriculture, industry and trade and brought prosperity in Bengal. Alivardi Khan seized the Musnad of Bengal by defeating and killing Sarfaraz Khan in 1740 AD. His grandson Siraj-ud-Daulah was defeated and killed at the Battle of Plassey in 1757 AD. Hyderabad was formed by the 6 Deccan Subas of the Mughal Empire. In 1724 AD, Chinkilich Khan, Mughal Emperor Muhammad Shah's minister, migrated to the Deccan and established the state of Hyderabad under the title of Nizam-ul-Mulk Asaf Jah. He was the first Nizam of Hyderabad. He was a shrewd diplomat. He tried to check the growing power of the Marathas. He ruled the Deccan independently till his death in 1748 AD. He was an able administrator. He promoted trade and followed a policy of religious tolerance. After his death, there was a war of succession. Political stability could be restored in 1762 AD, by the accession of Nizam Ali, who ruled for more than 4 decades. Mysore became an independent state under Hyder Ali. In the early 18th century, the kingdom of Mysore was being ruled by Chikka Krishna Raja, who was a mere puppet in the hands of his ministers Nand Raja and Dev Raja. Hyder Ali started his career as petty officer in the Mysore army. By his merit, skill, dash and diplomacy, he became the Fauzdar of Dindagal in 1755 AD. He raised an independent army and in 1761 AD overthrew Nand Raja and Dev Raja, and established his authority in the state of Mysore. Later, he conquered Bednor and Kanara and set up his capital at Seringapatam. He fought with the Nizam and the Marathas to maintain independence. Later, he was defeated by the British and died in 1782 AD. Tipu Sultan (1782 to 1799 AD) succeeded his father Hyder Ali. He also fought bravely against the British to save his territories. He was the first Indian king to use Western methods of administration and warfare. Case study: the Marathas. The Marathas inhabited the hilly regions of Pune and Konkan in Maharashtra. They were mainly cultivators and soldiers. During the reign of Shah Jahan, some groups of Marathas were involved in looting in the areas of Bijapur. They were brave and sturdy warriors. They were inspired by the Bhakti literature of Marathi and the military training instilled in them the feelings of nationalism. Under the leadership of Shivaji, they grew powerful. Early successes. The rise of the Marathas to power is attributed to the illustrious leadership provided to them by Chhatrapati Shivaji in the second half of the 17th century. The tough geographical Shivaji environment developed in the Marathas the exceptional qualities of self-reliance, courage, perseverance and above all, pride in the dignity of man. The broken hill ranges afforded them natural protection against the enemies. Besides, Marathas women added to the strength and patriotism of men. Popular Bhakti saints like Tukaram, Ramdas, Eknath had created in their minds the abiding sense of mutual love and faith in one God. They carried their message to the masses through the popular Marathi language. Shivaji was born in 1627 AD. He was the son of Shahiji Bhosle, a petty Jagirdar in the Bijapur state. He received military training from Dadaji Kondadev. His mother Jijabai was a pious lady. She narrated many stories of bravery from epics and Puranas and instilled patriotism in him. War with Bijapur. Shivaji grew into a great politician and warrior. He organized the Maratha hill tribes into a military force. He had an ambition to establish a Hindu power in India. He captured many forts, for example Toran and Purandar, and then set his eyes on the Konkan region. His rising power made him an enemy of the Mughal Viceroy of Deccan. There ensued a series of long and protracted battles. Shivaji killed Afzal Khan, the general of the Sultan of Bijapur. Aurangzeb, the Mughal emperor, sent his uncle Shaista Khan to subdue Shivaji. Shivaji killed his men, but Shaista Khan was able to escape. Aurangzeb then sent Raja Jai Singh of Amber to subjugate Shivaji. Shivaji had to sign the Treaty of Purandar. Jai Singh persuaded Shivaji visit the court of Aurangzeb, where he was insulted, captured and imprisoned. Shivaji, by his tact, managed to escape from the prison along with his son Sambhaji. War with the Mughals. On returning to his court, Shivaji resumed his activities against the Mughals. He plundered Surat and proclaimed himself emperor. Aurangzeb had to recognize him as an independent ruler. Shivaji was crowned as Chhatrapati at a grand darbar held at Raigad, near Pune in 1674 AD. He, thus, laid the foundation of the Maratha state. After this, Shivaji carried on many campaigns. He captured Jinji and Vellore and some parts of Mysore. He died in 1680 AD. Administration. Shivaji himself controlled the administration of the state. He had a council of 8 ministers, called the Ashtapradhan Mandal. The Peshwa, Prime Minister, the Senapati, Commander-in-Chief, and the Pandirav, Minister in charge of the religious matters, were the most important ministers in his council. Shivaji divided his empire into prants, provinces, which were further subdivided into Parganas Tarafs. The village was the smallest administrative unit headed by Patel. Shivaji introduced a new source of revenue from the territories subjugated by the Marathas. These territories had to pay 2 kinds of taxes, Chaut and Sardesh Mukhi. These taxes helped Shivaji to maintain a huge force, but it deprived his state of the goodwill of the neighboring kingdoms. Shivaji maintained a well-trained and disciplined army with a strong cavalry and infantry. His soldiers received regular cash salaries. He insisted on high moral values among his soldiers. His army was well trained in guerrilla warfare. Shivaji also maintained a naval fleet to curb the activities of pirates. The forts formed a special feature of Shivaji's military administration. There were about 280 forts in his possession. Each hill fort was under a Havaldar who was assisted by a Brahmin Subedar for civil and revenue administration. After the death of Shivaji in 1680 AD, his elder son Sambhaji ascended the throne. But he and his successors were weak. They could not retain their territories. Moreover, after the death of Aurangzeb, 1707 AD, the Marathas were divided into two hostile camps. At this time, a new system of Maratha government was evolved under the leadership of Balaji Vishwanath, the Peshwa of Sahu. He restored peace and order and also introduced several reforms that improved the financial conditions of the Marathas kingdom. Bazi Rao, 1720 to 1740 AD. Bazi Rao, 1720 to 1740 AD, the son of Balaji Vishwanath, was also a shrewd statesman and able administrator. He organized a union of independent Marathas chiefs known as Marathas Confederacy and demarcated their sphere of influence. The four Maratha chiefs were the Gayakwad of Baroda, Bhosle of Nagpur, Holkar of Indore and Sindhia of Gwalior. The Marathas reached the height of their power, prestige and glory under Balaji Bazi Rao, 1740 to 1761 AD, the third Peshwa. However, the Marathas were defeated at the Third Battle of Panipat in 1761 AD by Ahmad Shah Abdali. Their dream of establishing a Hindu empire was broken. Madhav Rao I, 1761 to 1772 AD, the son of Balaji Bazi Rao, was also a brave and talented statesman. He defeated the Rohillas, Rajputs, and Jats. After his death, 1772 AD, the Maratha Empire descent. The rule of the Peshwas came to an end in 1818 AD.